The values are what make an M&A matting what it is today. We believe strongly in these values. We've got to do the right thing. And that's pretty easy to say, and sometimes it's not as easily done because we may not know what the right thing to do is. But most of the time, your instincts tell you what's right and what's not. And then doing what's best for the customer. If we don't realize that we're here to serve the customer, then we're not going to be successful. To do that, we have to drive innovation and improvements.
Those values keep us on track because there's no rule book, right? There's no book out here that's written that says, when the global pandemic hits, turn to page 672. That doesn't exist.
They're simple. They're very straightforward. There's only 3 of them, but they're so difficult to live up to every day. And I think that's what values should be, right? They should challenge everybody that tries to live by them. When we do it, the company stays very true to who its core identity is.
If we believed in the company values and adhered to those, the customers would come. The first thing that you remember is what it was like when we first started.
And I knew it was new. It was less than 10 years old. The plant looked great. The office looked great on the outside. When we went there to see it, it would look like there had been an earthquake.
The ground in the offices sank, so they weren't usable. So we had a storage shed that we rented.
Had no air conditioning, had no heating, and it was in January in Belgium.
And it was so cold, man. I had to call my mom and have her send me those hunting gloves that you can like just move the fingers off because I couldn't type otherwise. When I got here, there wasn't a scanner, there wasn't a printer, the internet lines didn't work, the label printer broke. And I asked a question one day, well, who's gonna fix all of that? And Bud looked at me and said, that would be you.
That first 6 or 9 months was a bit of a challenge. That was part of what you had to deal with.
Probably the core memory that I have is Tyler moved over here when he was 28. Never been out of the U.S. before. And the first night he got here, we went out for a few beers. And he's like, let's go to Taco Bell. I'm like, there's no Taco Bell in Belgium. It doesn't work that way.
Well, I've worked with Kirk so long. Being an American, going over, working in our European division, just the nuances between the cultures. So there's a lot of stories.
It was a great team together, and that 6 years allowed him to build the European team. The biggest thing for us was to take care of the customer. That was number 1 priority. We learned that if a customer is have a problem, ask the customer, what would you like for us to do? Don't argue with them. Don't negotiate. Just tell them, is that what you want to do? That's what we're going to do.
This is how we did it, this is how we're successful, and this is how we're going to do it in Europe. And I think early on we were humbled a little bit that that's not going to work here. I mean, I can remember looking at the daily order report, and I mean, you're just hoping you can we get 15 orders today? Can we get 15 orders? Yeah, that's a true story. David Hart told me. I said, do you think I can do this? I don't know. You're awful young, and I'm not sure it's a great idea, but you can't hurt anything. That's what he said. What are you going to do? You go over there. We don't have any customers. Over there, it's much more complex. Every country has its own unique standards, specifications, expectations.
They want to be different, non-standard solutions, non-standard mats.
Basically, they're driving higher and higher quality standards, pushing us to further levels of innovation.
It's how we get better. It's our job to, elevate your business and be the best supplier that you work with.
What I'm most proud of are the people.
The people.
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 And Kirk was great at bringing young people in. Dirk came on as the production manager.
We have seen a lot of people growing into their role, into their function.
Ça grandit tout le temps. Et ça, c'est super chouette.
They're intrinsically motivated, and I can count on them, and they just get things done. They're extremely talented, and I always say they have it.
The first time I ever met David Maas, his English wasn't very good and my French is not very good either. And I said, we're going to ship logo mats in 5 days. And he said, you crazy.
On n'était pas équipé comme on est équipé maintenant. On a changé de mentalité, puis on s'est posé la question comment on peut y arriver, comment on peut faire mieux.
People kind of make the business go around. It's not one person or it's not a piece of equipment. It's the talent that is inside of our business is what makes it successful.
They live the values day by day, so they create trust among each other, which speeds up a lot of decisions.
It starts with world-class people in here that are willing to do the things that it takes to give those customers that experience. And then certainly the acquisitions have been a big part of the growth and putting us where we are today. But it's not so much the business that the acquisitions brought, but it's the amount of talent that we've been able to bring into the organization.
The arrival of Mountville set a lot of things in motion. For the first time, roof sketches were offered free, or the speed of delivery. So the 100% customer guarantee was not common. The competition had to adapt.
Obviously that was a bit of a surprise for me because I worked originally for Walk-Off Mats. We were then purchased by Milliken, so I'd gone through one acquisition and then I went through a second acquisition. But I must say that working for M&A has been a smooth transition, and I think it's been a good positive move for our customers and the industry in general.
And I look back and I think of all the lessons that we've learned, and a lot of it's come through challenges, and the values of the company have never changed, but we've adapted to, a different culture and a different market. And I'm really, really proud of how the company's been able to do that.
The result of where we are at 20 years is a compounding result of what a lot of people have done every day, every week, every month. So when you ask the question about what's the next 20 years,
my guess is they'll look a lot like the last 20 years. And my guess is it'll be a little bit bigger and there'll be a little bit more talent and we'll have a few more customers. First message would absolutely, be thank you.